Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, guys?
We're at a 2 week in advance screening of Guy Ritchie's King Arthur. I don't think this comes out until the 12th?
A couple weeks at least,
Yeah, it's like 2 weeks, I think. So, I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I guess I'm here 2 weeks in advance to tell you that this is an unholy fucking disaster.
I'm going to say this as someone that grew up liking the Arthur Legends and things like that. There were some things that I liked, but I'm still not going to recommend it. One thing I've always not liked about the Arthur Legends is, you have a magic sword, you've got a wizard, you've got all this stuff, but they never really used it. In this, I give them some credit for at least giving the sword power.
It turns him into an X-Men.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he becomes Quicksilver whenever he grabs onto the sword in this film.
Well, if you were wondering what a Guy Ritchie King Arthur movie would look like, or you had an idea of what you thought it was going to look like, it looks like it.
I don't even know about that. I would say that as maybe 10% of this movie is maybe like that. Every now and then you can kind of see some Guy Ritchie in there, but the rest of the 90% of this movie to me felt less like what Guy Ritchie would do with King Arthur. It felt more like if you gave Uwe Boll $100 million and told him to make a King Arthur movie with giant elephants swinging metal balls everywhere in the first frames of the film, and there's a giant snake that comes in at the end, like someone gave steroids to the fucking anaconda.
Hey, don't forget that the last bad guy turns into Shao Kahn.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between that and Skeletor.
I was waiting for him to call him like a weak, pathetic fool, and I was gonna lose it.
This movie is edited by a fucking blender. It's ridiculous. The opening 5 minutes of this film are what you see in the trailer. Oh, also the final frame of the movie is also in the trailer.
Oh, nice.
So you are just thrust into some kind of battle with elephants the size of a Sears tower with wrecking balls. I am making this sound, this is just me, but I am making this sound more interesting than it is because it is edited by a crackhead. You have these establishing shots of these CGI elephants cut back and forth between close-up shots of people talking. The only reason I kind of knew who they were is because of the little did you know thing before the movie started.
And we were both thinking that was giving away a little bit too much of the movie.
I am kind of glad it did that.
But maybe not so much after seeing it.
Oh, and don't worry, this is the kind of movie where when they mention a character's name, it will show you that character in an insert shot. So all of this is this. We're here with Eric Bana. We're here with the elephants. We're here with some stranger. Medium shot, big epic shot, close-up shot. I don't know where anyone is in conjunction to one another in this thing. And then 5 minutes into this nightmare of a battle scene, credits start playing, and they can't even do that right because in the middle of the names, it has a location credit.
Yeah, so, that was odd.
Thank you. Yeah, it cuts to a location credit in the middle of the cast credits. So either this is the location or there's some artsy actor named Londinium co-starring in the film. My God. This movie, it often feels like there's something missing in the film, like a character will dive off of a cliff and then suddenly they're on horseback, tied up. And yes, I was wondering what led to this event, but it could have been because I was zoning out hard in this movie. But no, it wasn't like that because this movie is edited to make you feel confused that shit is missing, but then later it will show you the bit that was missing. And that doesn't seem clever. It seems like you stuck scenes in a fucking blender.
I'm okay with movies every now and then doing I'm going to tell you the story of what we're going to do and showing it at the same time.
Yeah.
They do that, at least 3 times, if not more.
They do it a lot.
Yeah, it just kept happening and I kind of lost count.
And it was the only times in the movie that kind of felt like Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
As redundant as they were, that and whenever he turns into Quicksilver with a sword and it got all slow motion-y. That kind of felt like Sherlock Holmes Guy Ritchie. But when they were kind of explaining the plan as it was showing it, I got a glimmer of Guy Ritchie there because the dialogue suddenly turned very fast and jokey, and these sequences always ended with someone saying, "So did you get all that?" and like a throwaway joke like that. And it was in those moments I thought, if the rest of this movie had this sharp of dialogue, if it was made in a way that was like it was a British gangster movie, but King Arthur, they would have had something. And to an extent, I think that's maybe what this project might have started out as.
Well, being that he was the brothel owner, after they went through his entire life in like 10 seconds.
Oh.
There was definitely a lot of story missing, or they were trying to cram too much in. I haven't figured it out yet.
Everything in this movie can be summed up in, well, that took 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, there's a part in this movie where he's fighting giant bats and giant snakes and these big, huge beasts. And it maybe takes 30 seconds of screen time because it's edited like a montage. It's like, motherfucker, The Princess Bride did this way creepier than your movie's doing.
Well, what was it? It was like, okay, he had trouble learning about the sword or using the sword.
Yeah.
Because he was like resisting it or something. And so he had to go to, what's it called? The Badlands or something?
Something like that.
Darklands, Badlands, something. And he goes there and it's like, montage time.
And it was a montage with, again, giant rats, but not done as good as The Princess Bride.
Yeah, they weren't ROUSs.
Exactly. Rodents of unusual size. Yeah, exactly. Right. And I'm like, motherfucker, that movie's about 30 years old, and those effects are way more convincing than this.
Yeah.
This is a bunch of CGI fucking splooge. And when I was watching this, I was thinking, like, what happened to this kind of movie feeling epic? Like, seriously, like, there is so much CGI crap in this movie, whether it's establishing shots or the rats or anything, a snake, anything. And nothing about this feels epic. This feels like, oh, I should be watching this as like a series on like a cable network or something like that. Like, seriously, what happened to like feeling like I'm watching this lush, grand epic? That barely exists anymore because of CG crap like this.
Well, being that this comes from Warner Brothers, same studio behind the Hobbit movie and all that stuff, my guess is they said, Mr. Ritchie, we kind of want it to look like that. And which is unfortunate. Lord of the Rings for its time was great. The Hobbit, it didn't advance any. And that's kind of what kind of felt like to me. They wanted to try to make it epic with all the CG, but of course it's too much.
For me, it felt a little like that, and also like they want to bring in the Game of Thrones audience because Aidan Gillen is in this movie. And you know what? That I can get behind his character only because I fucking love Aidan Gillen. He's playing a character named Goose Fat Bill, which is the most... You couldn't come up with a better Aidan Gillen character name if you tried.
Well, they had to come up with something like Littlefoot.
Exactly.
Well, why did they call him that? Because
because it's Aidan Gillen playing the character.
Well, he got away from... He could get away from... like slip away easy or something.
He likes his French fries made with goose fat, maybe.
God.
I don't know. Like, the characters in this movie are so dumb. Like, at the end, when they, like, sequel bait this, which, okay, they sequel bait this fucking thing by introducing the round table, which looks like Pac-Man. And so but again, it looks like a table. It's a table with a section missing.
Yeah.
So, but these motherfuckers are standing around like, what is this contraption? Is it a block of cheese? How'd you get it in here? Like, it's a table, motherfucker. You were just sitting at one 5 seconds ago. Assholes.
One thing that also bothered me was, okay, this is an Arthur movie.
Yeah.
You gotta have Merlin in it.
Yeah.
Okay, and they showed that little bit with him, and it was about the creation of the sword and everything.
Oh, don't worry. They got the Enchantress from Suicide Squad.
That girl... that was like, she was trained by Merlin or whatever. And she was only there to be a potential future love story. I'm honestly surprised they didn't force it already.
A dream for some,
but
a
hey,
nap for others.
I guess they're gonna save some for the sequel they probably won't get.
Man,
You know?
I will expect a sequel to Rennie Harlan's Legend of Hercules before I'll expect a sequel to this. At least that movie was unintentionally hilarious.
Yeah.
This movie, I wanted to nap so hard, and I hate the fact I've got another movie to see after this.
Well, hopefully
I
it's
just want to
better.
go home.
You know, this one, and you know, what'd you say it was, like 210?
Yeah, it's
something like that?
206.
And
Fuck, it feels it.
It feels more. I mean, my legs were hurting at the end.
God,
Sitting there,
man, yeah.
And of course, it was a packed house in a small theater. That didn't help.
I hated
But-
the fact that I never had to go to the bathroom during this.
Ugh.
Usually, like, soda will go through me, and I have to go use the restroom at something I'm really enjoying, and I have to get up and empty my weak-ass bladder out. Not in this piece of shit. I saw every fucking frame of this. It's like, I want to go to the bathroom and just force something out, even if it's air, just so I can just fucking get out of this theater and stretch my fucking legs at this. And man, the edit. Speaking of how bad the editing is, this really feels fucking edited for television.
Yes.
Like, it is the most blood you have in this movie is when a snake gets its head chopped off. Other than that, it looks like that like religious company that takes movies and edits all the naughty bits out of it and gives it to their fucking church members.
Yeah.
That's how this fucking thing is edited. It gets confusing. And I don't mean like it's shot for a PG-13 so it's not that bloody. I don't mean that. This looks like it was shot for an R and is edited about as shitty as everything else in this goddamn movie. So there are confusing death scenes in this movie where people will get their throats cut and nothing. There's not even a sound that's made. I'm like, did he die just from the air in front of his face getting cut? There's a part where a guy gets his ear cut off. Jude Law is talking into it. No blood, but also you barely see what he's even holding. Like, motherfucker, I'm a fucking adult. Like, I grew up on 80s movies. Fuck this shit. There was a girl sitting behind me after the movie was over and was just like, that was too violent. I'm like, fucker, you are part of the fucking problem. Like, I am at a fucking movie theater as an adult. Don't give me this fucking edited for NBC shit and put it on a goddamn big screen.
You can't say you can't do that stuff for PG-13. I mean,
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings had decapitations. You know?
Look at Kong, Skull Island.
I was surprised that was
Yeah.
a PG-13. The second, blood started splattering when the helicopters are getting smashed and everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. Did I look at the poster wrong?
Right.
But I don't know.
Someone took a fucking chainsaw to this. I'm only gonna guess because they'd probably cut that out.
I'm willing to bet that if this movie, if this movie gets poor reception, Guy Ritchie's gonna come out and say something about it. Like they ruined it. Warner Brothers ruined it. You hope. I mean, because the dude has done tons of movies I liked.
Yeah.
Man from U.N.C.L.E., the first Sherlock Holmes.
I
The
loved
second
Man
one was
from U.N.C.L.E..
not my favorite, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Just about anything he's done I've liked, that I've seen.
This movie is easily his worst film, and I've seen Swept Away. Swept Away was at least fascinatingly bad. Swept Away, I was at least curious about the batshit insanity that was happening in front of me and where it was going, and that is a shit. Swept Away is a shitty fucking movie, but at least I was like, I'm sucked in by this train wreck. Fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, this, and it barely, like, Swept Away at least did feel like Guy Ritchie, kind of. It was a bad movie, but you could see his touches in this. This, here and there, but more often than not, finding out Guy Ritchie made this would be like if you found out Tarantino directed 47 Ronin.
When we were going in, we thought, both of us thought that it kind of, I barely saw a trailer.
I saw a lot of
And he
trailers.
said there was a lot of rock in the trailer and stuff.
Yeah.
We were thinking it was going to be like Knight's Tale.
That would have
And
Punched it up a little bit, honestly.
yeah, I never thought I would say that if this movie was more like Knight's Tale, it would help. I have my hopes because like it's Guy Ritchie. I've liked most of his stuff. Please
Same.
let this be good. And
I even like the Guy Ritchie movies that a lot of people don't like. I loved Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
I liked Revolver a lot.
yeah, I love Revolver.
Yeah.
And I like Man from U.N.C.L.E. It took me a couple views, but I really liked it after I kind of knew what I was getting into. This one, I don't think any amount of watching this,
Go.
it's only going to hurt. And it's only going to make me think less of Guy Ritchie. But like I said, I have a feeling that this just has studio with scissors written all over it.
It feels it, man.
And I have a
It
feeling that they
does.
took it away from him somehow. And that's unfortunate.
I was never intrigued by any of the trailers. Like, even the trailers looked like it was going to be really uninteresting. I was not prepared for the fucking train wreck that this movie is. Like, not even a little bit. Like, the trailers just looked kind of uninteresting and just made me want to just stay home and watch Excalibur.
I was going to say the same thing. If
Yeah.
they've already done it perfect with Excalibur.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Like, you got Excalibur and you got Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You got your two masterpiece King Arthur movies right there.
You could even throw Sword in the Stone in there.
Yeah, Camelot and things like that.
You know,
like,
I watched Excalibur less than 6 months ago. That movie still holds
oh
up.
fuck yeah, it does.
It's still amazing. You know, still has amazing acting. Still has effects that hold up.
yeah, and it feels like an epic.
Yeah, and this, I mean, you know, we were talking before, DC has a comic book called Camelot 3000. And I was like, man, Warner Brothers should have made this. Now, don't touch it. I don't want you to touch it, Warner Brothers, because if you're going to turn it into this crap.
Oh come on! Since when has Warner Brothers been making mistakes?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, someone's losing their job over this shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's, you know, even if you like some of the people in this, I know, you know, the ladies love Charlie Hunnam, you know.
And he could be fine. Like, he's not.
He has his moments.
Yeah, he's not bad in this movie. It's just shit material.
I'm just saying, even if you like him, don't see it because of him. Because
fuck
you're going to
that.
have to sit through a lot of garbage just to get what you want.
Go see Lost City of Z, and I haven't even seen that film yet, but I'm guessing it's better.
Oh, it's got to be. It could be anything, and it would probably be better than this. And yeah, if you like any of the people in this, don't see it. If you like Arthur Legends, watch Excalibur instead.
There are lesser Arthur movies that are still better than this.
Yeah.
The Clive Owen one's better than this. The
Never thought I was going to say that, too.
First Night, the Sean Connery one.
Oh, yeah.
I would rather sit through that than this movie again. My God.
Yeah, Jude Law, how he in this, he was, I don't know even if you want to call it overacting in this. I don't even know what you want to call his performance.
He was, you know what? Like, I almost wish, like, Uwe Ball directed this movie because he would have gotten someone wildly miscast to play that role, and it would have been kind of amazing for that. Like, if this was an Uwe Ball movie, that would have been like Ray Liotta or Michael Madsen, or like, and they would have gotten someone drunk in there to play the part. Like, Jude Law, I don't know, it doesn't seem like he really wants to be in this movie.
Well, it almost felt like, I mean, he's in, you know, him and Guy Ritchie are kind of close. You know, he was in the Sherlock movies, and I can't remember if he was in any of his other ones, but, you know, I don't know if he just said, can you help me out? You know, Jude Law in this just seemed, at times he seemed hammy, and at times he seemed uninterested.
A little.
And at times he seemed uninterested. It was just kind of it's not what you expect from Jude Law. Jude Law is great.
Totally. I agree, and I fucking missed Scott Adkins from Legend of Hercules.
Yeah.
And man, if it was him in this movie doing King Ed Glazer again, I would have been like, oh yeah, there was at least that. There was still Scott Adkins hamming up a storm in this. There's really nothing like that here.
Well, his character at times had to be like really serious and do things that were supposed to mean something. Like, there were some weird creatures in this lake in his tower, and he had to sacrifice things he loved for power, kind of.
Yeah. God. When he kills his... Sorry, spoiler. When he kills his daughter, and, again, bloodless and shot like the movie thinks I'm a fucking third grader. So, like, he gets her in the side, I guess. And
he did it to his wife too.
oh, when it happened to the daughter, it was kind of funny because the daughter was just like,
Yeah. It's bad. Yeah. Oh God.
I hated this movie.
Yeah, like I
I
said,
really hated this fucking movie.
for the things I appreciated about it, like I said, the use of magic and things like that, it doesn't save it. It doesn't help it. It does nothing for it. And that's unfortunate because there was some decent ideas in there had they been fleshed out. But then again, they tried to force too many stories into this because there was lots of, oh, we need to, this is what happened. You know, this is where the sword came from. This is what happened to you. And we watched him grow from, 5 years old to his current age in like 20 seconds.
montage.
And-
oh, at the most, it was 20 seconds.
You know, I'm being generous. It's not even worth, I wouldn't even rent it.
No,
I wouldn't even watch it free on Netflix. If you watch it on Netflix, you will ask for your subscription fee back.
You'll just kick your TV.
No, seriously, if track down Excalibur.
Yeah,
That's what I
yeah.
would tell anyone. You want something about Arthur, track down Excalibur. You
Watch
will not
Excalibur.
regret it. It's a long movie. It's a great movie. And it's worth every minute. It doesn't feel like it. And you will not. You had a headache going into this. I can't imagine how it feels now.
It sucks, man. I'll at least say that it was a packed house in there because it was a free screening. So thank God we got here early enough to where we weren't stuck in the front, but we were still crammed in there in that theater because they put it in one of the kind of smaller screens, not like the smallest one, but like the medium one. And at least like the audience wasn't obnoxious. I'll say that. Like, I don't know if they were all asleep or what, but I've been to some free screenings where the audience is a nightmare. That it wasn't the case with this movie.
Yeah, it was just a crowd.
Yeah, it was a crowd.
I mean, I don't, who knows what they thought of it. I mean, I'm sure there were some people in there that thought it was the most amazing thing ever.
Sure, they
But-
saw it for free.
You know, that's just it. It gained no points for being free. I am so
No.
glad. I'm so glad that neither of us had to pay for this.
Oh my god.
That would have hurt worse. You know, it just. Yeah, I won't recommend it at all ever, and I'm definitely sure you feel the same way.
No, I don't recommend this at all. At fucking all. This is a fucking mess of a movie. This is a fucking disaster. And I've got another fucking movie tonight. God damn it.
Well, it's got to be better. There's no
Fucking probably.
This movie could be awful, and it's got to be better.
Right?
At
It's the
least
same.
you get Tom Hanks in this one
Yeah.
at least.
You know, it's the same thing like when I saw Power Rangers. Because the movie we saw right before Power Rangers was Chips. So it was like, well, look, I mean, we'll probably be all right with Power Rangers because it's not fucking Chips. Jesus.
Yeah, that's a double feature.
Oh my God. Fuck that. You want to say your website?
I'm Gino Reynolds, the real Gino on YouTube. Check it out. Do reviews, all that sort of stuff. Like, subscribe, all that stuff.
Indeed. And I'm Brad. See ya.